A very good afternoon to all of you, and we are going to start. And I welcome all of you on sixth Saturday series of virtual webinar focusing on career opportunities in food science and technology. So, career is not built straight away in one day. Career building is a long time, long life efforts that one has to take, and the efforts are taken by their own initiative. So we have to decide whether we would like to build our career, and career building learning is one of the most important aspects of building career. So within this context, it is our humble and honest effort to bring the experts in and along with the contacts of students, so that the experts, based on their experiences, share their stories, their experiences, their hurdles, challenges, and overcoming those hurdles and challenges, and achieving success, and how they walked onto the path of hurdles and challenges. So when these hurdles and challenges and the top tips to overcome those challenges are shared with our students, the students path becomes little bit more simpler and more easy to walk. So within this context, we have today with us Dr. Ashish Wagmare, and I am so proudly say that Dr. Ashish was my first PhD student, passing out, taking degree or passing in bioprocess technology, PhD holder in bioprocess technology. So Dr. Ashish Wagmare is currently a research scientist working with one of the country's top industry, that is Reliance Industries Limited, and he's working there as a research scientist and handling many important projects. So he has basically completed his B Pharmacy from LH Hiranandani College, and later on he joined under me for MTech Bioprocess Technology, and he decided to also pursue his PhD in Bioprocess Technology purely because of his own dedication and his liking for the research. I remember I had to literally tell Ashish for his master research that okay, now stop and submit your thesis. So he was like too much into submitting the thesis, working towards his research data. So he's such a dedicated and passionate scientist, and he also, while pursuing PhD, did a postgraduate diploma in that is a certificate course or diploma course in chemical technology management, which is conducted by Institute of Chemical Technology. So after joining into Reliance Industries, his areas of research interest are addressing some of the top sustainable development goal decided by UN, and those are nothing but food security, alternative fuels, and biomaterial and environmental sustainability. One of the top most sustainable development goal Dr. Ashish is currently working on. So he has published 11 international papers. He has attended fourth international conferences, and his journey during his career as a research student and right now as a research scientist has been very exciting. He, during his PhD, he also won one of the very prestigious award, and that was the only one prize wherein many different countries scientists had gathered, and he went to USA to attend 7th International Conference on Algal Biomass, where he presented his research work, very innovative and novel research work, and he won the prize awarded by Elsevier at Miami, Florida. So he has completed more than 45 certificate workshops and training courses. No doubt Dr. Ashish has a lot of passion to learn, and I'm sure he will keep learning and progress in his entire career. So thank you so much, Dr. Ashish, for accepting our invitation and being here today with all of us to share your experiences and stories while you were working as a research student as well as scientist. I'm sure your tips and stories would encourage our student to do the finest quality of research while they are doing whether their masters or PhD. Thank you so much, and platform is yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for kind introduction. It's my pleasure to be here and share my experience. This is a great opportunity for me to share my learnings with other students and whoever is looking to develop his career in the field of research and development. So, to begin with, I will like to introduce about Reliance Industries Limited. Followed with that, I will uh, uh, talk on the today's topic. So I hope I'm audible to all.
Yes, very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, yes, thank you. So presently, I'm working with Reliance Industries Limited as a research scientist. So to be before beginning the today's presentation, I request everyone to go through a disclaimer uh, because this is a company policy. Everyone have to read all those disclaimer before going to discuss about actual uh, content. So I'm giving 1 minute to read all disclaimer. Thank you. I hope you have gone through the disclaimer. New Reliance for New India. Reliance is made in India, made for India, and made by Indians company, which has always treated its investors, big and small value partners, in building world-class and world-scale assets that have made India proud, which has always aligned its business with national goals and priorities for making India self-reliant, strong, and prosperous, whose innovative products and services have created immense societal value by touching the lives of 800 million Indians and potentially all 1.3 billion Indians, which is now at the beginning of a new and unprecedented wave of wealth creation for India by harnessing the power of new technologies to fire its diverse growth engines. Reliance has built three new mega growth engines in single decade, which include Jio, Reliance Retail, Reliance Oil to Chemicals. Jio, connecting Indians digitally with unprecedented reach at affordable prices with superior customer experience. Reach 398.3 million subscribers in less than 4 years since inception. Reliance Retail, serving the entire spectrum of Indian society with 640 million footfalls and supplying a diversified product portfolio of groceries, fashion, and lifestyle, consumer electronics, connectivity through 11,800 plus stores across 28.7 million square feet area. Reliance Oil to Chemical connecting people and businesses by providing transportation fuel in one of the fastest growing energy market, supplying petrochemicals to diversified end-use industry manufacturing and essential industrial and consumer goods using polymers and polyesters. RIL caters to significant portion of consumer spending through its digital and physical presence. Significant recent investments from leading global strategic and financial investors. Jio platform raised $20.1 billion from 13 strategic and financial investors, including Facebook, Google, and other investors. By Aramco in RIL's oil-to-chemical business at an enterprise valuation of $75 billion, one of the largest FDI ever and one of the largest oil and gas transactions in India. Broadening of existing RIL and BP partnership in India to form 51:49 joint venture, including fuel retail, networking, aviation stations at an enterprise valuation. This is the largest FDI of $1 billion in fuel retail sector in India. India's largest ever right issue of $7 billion completed entirely on digital platform. Even in challenging global environment, marquee partners and investors have shown high trust. Exciting outcome for every business, which include Jio, Reliance Retail, and oil to chemical. Jio is the best place to capitalize on home broadband market in India through launch of Jio Fiber. Jio is the only operator with all IP network, which is critical for launching 5G service and ensuring smooth transition. Reliance is the best place to leverage its online ecosystem and offline network to maximize the reach across India's consumers' data. New consumer commerce will digitally enable $1.5 trillion retail market opportunity. Oil to chemical is a best position integrated platform to sustain the growth and profitability through demand and commodity cycle. Further integration will future-proof the business and help manufacture high-value and critically used chemicals and reduce the exposure to industry cycle. Unique portfolio of tech and growth business is not just India, but among emerging market. This was a brief introduction of Reliance Industries Limited. Now, here I am going to talk on today's topic. So, the title of talk is The Quest for Learning. I want to clarify at the beginning only, this will not going to be a talk. This will be an interaction session, which includes, I'm going to share my experience and you have to also share your experiences. So this way, basically, we are helping each other to learn more. So under this title, I will talk on an introduction of learning. Then I will share my learning experiences of MTech, PhD Tech, and followed with that, before beginning this session, I request all of you. Okay, ma'am, can we use a chat section?
Yes, we can use the chat section. I will request them to send anything in chat
So,
box. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So what I want to request you, I want to you to share any one learning experience, skills that you have recently learned with all of us. And this we are going to take it toward the end of the this presentation. So I request you, all of you, to share any of your one learning experience with all of us. So uh, in case of me, what I learned, uh, to give one example, recently I'm staying alone, so I need to manage everything, which including I have to manage my home, manage my cooking. So and I like to eat bhakri. So recently I learned how to prepare a bhakri. So in my case, I learned preparation of bhakri. So likewise, what you have learned, you have to post in chat section. Okay. Okay.
Students, you can post your learning experience here in the chat box. You can type in the chat box.
Okay. So what is the learning? Basically, learning is the process of acquiring new understanding, knowledge, behaviors, skills, values, attitudes, and preferences. So, David Kolb's is one of the uh, expert in this field who proposed the model of experimental learning. And this is a very interesting model because we can basically correlate so many learnings through this model, and we try to basically enhance our experience of learning different things. So this model involves four steps. First one, there is nothing like first, second, third, uh, because in this cycle you can enter at any phase, any stage. Okay, so to understand, first thing will be a feeling, followed with watching. I will just take pointer here. Okay, first step will be feeling, followed with watching, then thinking on it, and doing. Okay, so these are basic four steps through which we learn different things. Okay, so uh, I have included my MTech and PhD experiences, research experiences. I will try to correlate those research experiences with this model and how this model works. Uh, as per this experimental model, scientists are mostly fall in this category where people are using thinking, abstract conceptualization, and doing experiment. Okay, so generally scientists, researcher are fall in this quadrant. So where experiments are happens and thinking is happen. But when we talk about this uh, what he says, Kolb says that if you want a optimum learning, then each step has to be followed. Means you have to go through all the complete cycle, then you can experience complete learning. And this is possible when you go through each cycle. I will explain you. I will come back to here when I am going to talk about my actual learnings that I got during my MTech and PhD duration. So there is one more thing, that is learning pyramid. Okay, what is this learning pyramid? Is basically in this learning pyramid, uh, we can understand that there are different modes of learning. Okay, so through different modes of learning, we retain some amount of what we have learned. So if we attend lectures, based on the scientific finding, they are saying that 5% of the what we have learned we retain. If you do reading, we retain up to 10%. If you do audio visual, we retain up to 20%. When we do when we attend the demonstrations, up to 30%. Discussion groups, 50%. Practice by doing 75%. And teach others and immediate use. We can learn highest, that is 80% of retention what we have learned is possible by teaching others. So I want to tell you my experience. When I joined PhD, ma'am have assigned me to basically do some teaching activities for BTech students, and that will fall in this part, teaching others. And by doing that, I learned so many things. I was teaching advanced instrumental analysis to BTech students. And I was doing that for 3 years for final year students. So by teaching others, I had good hand and good understanding of instrumental analysis. And that helped me while doing my research. Okay, so some of you might be thinking, then can we directly go to this teaching, start teaching others? Then my suggestion or my thoughts on this, no, it doesn't work like that. Then how it works? If you want to have a best learning experience, best understanding, then you have to basically follow all of those. We need to attend the lectures. We need to read more. We need to use different medias to understand a particular topic. We need to attend demonstration. We need to discuss with our friends. I will tell you, this is also one of the important part of learning, discussion, group discussion, where actual brainstorming happen. And this is very important for a researcher, very important, because actually when we discuss in a group, we start thinking on it. Okay, when we start thinking on it, we generate ideas. Okay, and through that we learn more. And I'm very fortunate, I had a very good group of friends who are interested in discussing various scientific topics. So we used to sit and talk on the different topics, and that helped me a lot to think deeply. And also practice by doing. Practice by doing, what does it means? For example, I wanted to learn HPLC. Okay, so I have attended a lecture, reading, and other medias. I have discussed with friends. But when actual learning will happen, when you do a practice, I wanted to optimize some particular method of analysis. So to do that, I need to change the mobile phase. Then also I need to optimize the flow rate, then solvent ratios. So everything I need to do it so that I get the best results. And that is possible by doing a practice. Okay, and once you are expert, you start understanding by doing practice, and you also wanted to enhance your learning. What you can do, you if some of your friend is interested to learn, teach him. Teach him how to handle this particular instrument. In that way, we learn more. That learning will stay with you for a long period of time, and that is actual learning. So I want to tell you, this learning during MTech and PhD happen unintentionally. I was not knowing this is how learning happens. Okay, I was going through the process, and that process basically is a way of learning that I was not knowing. But today, when I go back and see and try to understand, and then I realize this is a way to learn different things. So I want to tell you, follow these learning processes to enhance your learning experiences, to learn with more clarity, understand more better. And also, I would like to mention here, this is learning experience. Today's session is also learning experience for me. I'm talking on something, I'm talking based on my reading. I have gone through different reading articles, and then I came here. So this is how today's session itself is a learning session for me. So I want to mention here, learning is a never-ending process. We can basically keep learning different things forever. There is no ending for learning. So now I am going to correlate this learning experimental model with what I have learned. So this, whatever I have arranged this slide, is the purpose of arranging this slide is to share my learning experience with you, not the technical details of the particular research article. So I will not go into technical details, but I will share how I learned, what was basically thoughts behind it, and how basically this whole process flow goes through when I was doing MTech. I work on studies on utilization of fruit waste for production of value-added products. Okay. So under this topic, ma'am suggested to take different fruit waste and study those biochemical compositions and different properties, and we will basically start thinking on how we can basically utilize this fruit waste to generating some valuable products out of it. So while doing that, I studied 9 different fruit waste. Today I'm representing some of them for our understanding. So what I found, ki unripe banana peel containing more amount of starch, cellulose, and it has also protein. So these carbohydrates can be easily broken down into simple sugar, and it contains protein also. And there is a presence of after hydrolysis of this complex carbohydrate into simple sugar, there is presence of protein also. So this can help for fermentation. And when we add yeast in that hydrolyzed, this can be a very good media to grow the yeast. And this yeast will basically convert this sugar into a ethanol, alcohol. So that we have basically planned how we can go ahead and we come out with the publication. So what was now I will go back to the where we had started. Kolb's model of experimental learning. Okay, so here was a concrete experience. Whose concrete experience was there? Research guide who have suggested me to, based on her feeling and concrete experience, can we use this fruit waste? Okay, so what I did, I observed its biochemical composition. Right? So based on that observation, what I did, I thought, what can I do? I proposed some abstract, some hypothesis, some conceptual idea. This fruit waste can be utilized for particular purpose based on thinking. And then followed with that, I have gone for experimentation. And once the experimentation have been done, what we learned, what we got experience of what we have learned, and that experience builded my experience, and also added as a, also this is a way of creating knowledge. So by following this cycle, we have learned how to learn any different research problem. So likewise we work on different uh, peoples. So I will share those learning as well.
Hello, sir.
Taken.
Hello, sir. Can I ask you one question, if you don't mind?
Sure.
Sir, how can we choose what is in our interest? If someone suggesting me, you have to choose on your own basis, on your interest. So suppose I have to choose a research topic. As in case of my college days, I haven't performed that well due to lack of facilities and so such other things. So how can I find my interest if I am going to take some of the subject as my research topic, and I don't know about that, then I will face the problems in future in between doing that thing. So what is the basic parameter to judge our that interest? What is our interest?
Yeah. I think this question is very important, and I feel uh, I should answer this question toward the end of presentation, not because I'm getting interrupted, because I feel when we go through the number of slides, uh, the following slides, you might, I might touch the question that you have asked.
Okay,
So,
sir. Okay, sir.
So what will happen? Uh, it will help you to basically understand by yourself ki how I have done, means my experience, and how that basically even in my PhD, I have started with something else, and I have ended with something else. So basically, I have started with some interest. I ended with something else. So basically, what I want to tell you is it's a process, right? So we have to basically have some patience, have an understanding, and definitely your interest is important. So I will note down your question because this is so important. Because I was also struggling how to finalize my title of thesis for PhD. Okay, in MTech, ma'am had suggested, and ma'am had suggested different topics. Out of that, I selected this one because I felt this will be useful for me for my future career. As I was specifically working on, my degree was in bioprocess technology. So my interest was to work in something that involves bioprocessing. In first paper itself, here fermentation is involved. Then I had used optimize the fermentation parameter, and that is a part of the bioprocess technology. So my that time thought was to uh, misunderstand about the core area of my subject. So I have decided this title. So then second paper was on novel birth forming laxative. Okay, so this is again interesting, and I will share it with you how this how we basically got a thought. I have to work on this objective. So I told you what I had done. I had collected different fruit waste, and they made grinded, dried, and then followed with grinded into fine powder. And that fine powder was studied for different biochemical parameter as well as different important properties. So while doing so, what I have observed, what I had observed I had taken different fruit waste powders in a flask, okay, and I was adding some buffer in those different fruit waste. So when I added that buffer solution in watermelon rind powder, so I observed that after adding water, immediately water is get absorbed by the powder, and that was not happening in case of other fruit waste. And uh, I will tell you more specifically what had happened in the lab. Okay, so that you will understand in much more better way. What had happened? I had taken uh, uh, suppose 8 sample were there. So 8 flask I had taken. I had weighed 1 gram of the sample and named them. Added 1 gram of sample in each flask and added 10 ml of buffer in each flask. Okay, and in that protocol, I have to mix that powder. Okay, so I was mixing different powders in the flask, and that was basically mixing. And but in case of watermelon, when I added 10 ml of buffer in that powder, everything is get absorbed. So I idea of using that buffer to extract something from that powders. But what happened here that 10 ml all the buffer got absorbed. So how can I extract now? So when I did it first time, I thought I might have by mistakenly not taken a 10 ml of buffer. That might be my mistake. I have not taken 10 ml buffer or something is wrong with the flask. Flask might be leak at the bottom. So I repeated with the watermelon, and I observed similar thing. And then I thought, why it is happening? Why all water is getting absorbed? So then thought on that line why it is happening, and then found out that this watermelon rind had a unique property to absorb the water. Okay, that was not in case of other fruit waste. So where these properties can be utilized. So this property can be utilized in the for application one of the pharmaceutical application for preparation of bulk forming laxative. Then what are these bulk forming laxative? Those formulation helps to the people who have a constipation problem. What these formulation do? Bulk formulation, bulk laxative, bulk forming laxative. What they do when you take that bulk forming laxative, basically it help your bowel movement to regulate, and basically your you basically that will help you to fight constipation. The similar product like a Isabgol husk, people are using Isabgol husk. So I share my learning experience with my research guide, and I share my thoughts. Can we use this? Can we propose this watermelon rind for so and so application? So she said then find out what all parameters are required to be studied if we have to propose this particular powder for this application. We found out that, and then we work on that experimental plan, and then toward the end we publish this paper which title novel bulk forming laxative from watermelon rind. So what I wanted to share here, again we will go back to Cope's model of experimental learning. So here where the learning started in this case, here learning started with watching, observation. My observation here was to see that this has a unique property, that is property to absorb water and get swell. Okay, And then I thought of, started thinking on it, and then I prepared experimental plan. I have done the experiment and followed with. I'm here to share my experience with you, and also that help to create a knowledge for basically society benefits. Okay, so I'm basically very much happy with this paper because this is so unique and special for me because there are people are eating watermelon so many days, and I feel that somewhere I had given attention for that uniqueness of this powder. Uh, Basically ignite idea to use that powder in particular application. So also this uh, fruit waste powder had a high amount of dietary fibers. So these dietary fibers can be used for development of hypoglycemic product, and this will be beneficial for people who have a sugar problem, basically diabetics. So this will help basically to sustain release of sugar so that people can uh, fight better in case of sudden sugar release. So that can be developed. And similar to what I had explained, uh, I have gone through a learning experience and followed with that generated a research paper. Okay, so uh, similarly, I will like to share some of my experiences of PhD tech. Okay, uh, so uh, I will tell you at the beginning of when I started, ma'am suggested you choose your topic of research. Okay, so I was thinking, what should I do? And I was, I'm always I was interested to do something that will be sustainable and that will be something relevant to bioprocess technology, because that is important for me because my basic degree will be in bioprocess technology. I have to think for developing my career. Uh, okay, so uh, so alternative fuel was one of the thought in my mind at the beginning. So and the microalgae is one of the basically promising way to produce alternative biofuel that will be also sustainable. So I suggested, ma'am, can we work on it? So I have submitted a proposal, and then uh, ma'am suggested you can start your work. I have started with collected different strains, and at the beginning of the work, we didn't had required uh, infrastructure in food engineering and technology department. So whatever was available, I took some good amount of time basically to renovate plant growth chamber. That was one of the growth chamber was there in food engineering technology department. People were not using it because that was uh, pretty old and had technical problems also. So we basically work on reviving that machine, and I required a big blast because generate amount of biomass required for the study it was huge. So I found some of the flask in the scrap, collected, brought them, cleaned them, around 40 flasks were there. So now I have to do arrangement, do aeration, pass carbon dioxide, provide sufficient uh, sunlight, means light arrangement, and that will be also in a cyclic manner. So that everything was done. It took some time, And that learning was also very interesting because you learn from the basically uh, ground level. Okay, you do it everything by yourself, and it was a great learning for. And then I started working on optimizing cultivation conditions of different strain that I have collected from cultural collection labs, and uh, uh, and then followed with that work on harvesting and understood its biochemical composition. And then what happened here, I found that it contains good amount of protein and also good amount of lipids. Okay, so by reading more and more, I started understanding fuel is a challenging issue. Similarly, uh, food security is also one of the challenging issue in coming days, and which required a sustainable solution. And uh, uh, one of uh, one of the participant was asking me how to means taking my opinion how to select a topic. Okay, then here what happened, uh, I thought I have to focus more on foods because whatever biomass that I am generating, it has a great value as a food, and can be that can be explored. Okay, so I work on concentration of proteins present in the biomass using three-phase partitioning, and followed with that done characterization. And from that found out that it contained a protein of higher quality, better quality, having a good quality of amino acid compared to soya. Okay, so that paper we wrote and published in bioresource and bioprocessing. And also, I told you my interest was as I start learning, and my interest was started basically toward foods. So, and also as a protein is major component of the biomass, lipid also contribute around 20 to 25% of the biomass. So I was thinking, can I use this oil as an edible oil? But doing in lab was a challenging because it required, if I have to use for any development any food product, I need so many approvals, right? So that do so many tests to prove that it is a safe for uh, human consumption. Okay, so it is not possible for given period of time. So I was looking for different companies who are working on uh, production of oil from microalgae, and I come across one of the company name was Solazyme. Now Solazyme, and after some year, their name is Teravia. So I approached them and I requested them, can we evaluate your oil for its frying quality? Okay, that company was US based. Uh, to be honest with you, I was not sure they will respond to my email or not. But it was basically uh, uh, when I received their reply, they are interested to send their sample to evaluate its frying quality. So I was very happy and excited. So we done with formalities, required formalities, sign NDA, and then they send the sample. And followed with that, we done planning, experimental planning, and conducted an experiment, and we found uh, results, outcome of all the study. and we found that they done basically absolutely high quality of work. They have produced a oil which has a best frying properties, and we compare with palm oil, sunflower oil, and we found that the oil that was produced from the microalgae was of best quality, and that work we published in Algal Research. This work was a I will tell you a journey of 3 years. When we started talking with the company, then NDA signing, then their sample came to India, and then we started working on it. Okay, so it took a lot of time and a lot of efforts. And I want to tell you, this couldn't possible without a teamwork. I had a very good colleagues, and they have a particular expertise. So I requested them, can you join in this work, and we will work on this. So basically, their expertise in food engineering and technology is utilized for this objective. And I will like to tell you, this was a great learning experience. Ma'am have given a guidance for us, and as a team, we work together and basically arrange all the data and publish in very good journal. So this is one of the very good publication, and it has great memories, great learning memories. And so many times I was in doubt, can we, is it possible for me to take it to means at least a publication? So many times I had this doubt, but I will tell you, colleagues, research guide will be a great motivator during this phase. They will be basically someone who will be uplifting you when you are start doubting on yourself. Not because you are lacking somewhere, because the situation is created in such a way that we doesn't have a, or instrument got broken down, you have short period of time, or so many things are there. So that sometimes create a doubt in mind. Okay, but we have to overcome those things. I will tell you one of the one fine day I came and talked with one of my colleagues and said, I think we one part of the this paper was finding was a little bit difficult. So I was saying, let's eliminate this part, and we whatever is available with us, we will send it for publication. But due to her motivation, she said, no, we will work on it. We will try our best, and that will have a good value for publication. And this motivation basically help to take you towards your goal. So through this paper, I want to tell you great learning experiences, and I'm sharing with you. So collaboration is so important. Teamwork is so important. We need to see who can help us. Okay, during this period of time, I don't think like I will do alone. No, it will not happen. You have to see available resources with you, and I will tell you the great resources are your friends during MTech and PhD research, because you can talk with them. You can tell clearly ki, this is what I feel, and you can discuss with them and you can learn from them. So this was a great learning experience, teamwork experience, and I'm very happy to publish this paper. Then also I started working on hydrodynamic cavitation for cell disruption. one of the important challenge when we work on the microalgae is cell disruption. And to do cell disruption, it requires a lot of energy and it's not cost effective. So, I was going through different methods. I was trying in the lab, ultrasonation, other bead mill, and other methods I was trying. And I came across hydrodynamic cavitation, and I thought, can I use this method? And I will tell you, ICT offer us a great opportunity to have cross-department collaborations, take their support, and basically grow and develop different products. So in this field, Pandit sir is a world-known expert. So with help of Shalini ma'am, we approach to Pandit sir. We are thinking on this experimental plan, and we wanted to use your lab facility, and he supported us, and he guided us in the planning the experiment. And Karuna, she is a student of Pandit sir, and she also take active participation in this publication. And this work basically took considerable amount of time, around 1 year also. And then this work we submitted for one of the very good standard international conference, which is organized by Elsevier, and that was conducted in US, Miami. So that abstract was selected for poster presentation. And I will tell you, there are so many hurdles. You need to have a fund to travel there, and basically there are challenges how you will manage your fund, because if you have to go to US and attend conference, there will be conference charges, traveling charges, and it will be a good amount for a research scholar. So I was looking for funding sources, and sometimes we feel, no, it's better not to go and save money. That can be used for buying something for me or my family. Okay. But there was some thought in mind. I want to experience, I want to learn, I want to see how these conferences are basically conducted. I want to learn how people are presenting their work. So that was thought in behind all, and I was seeing it as a positively. This will be going to be a great learning experience. So I had applied to a number of funding sources, but I didn't got any funding. And toward the end, means before 1 month of conference, I decided, yes, I am going. I'm paying from my pocket, but I want to go and I want to learn. So, and ma'am had also motivated and supported, guided me to go ahead and learn the experience. So then I planned and have attended this conference. I will tell you, it was a great learning experience. And I will tell you, ICT, when we get connected with ICT, we have a privilege to be a ICT student. I will tell you, when I gone there in a conference, I come across many research scientists who have passed out from the ICT, and they have somehow connection with ICT. Even during that conference, I was waiting in a waiting area of a hotel where conference is conducted. I was talking with one of the senior scientist, and he have developed his technical business manufacturing unit in US. He had passed out from ICT, and he work on particular engineering problem and offer a solution. And I got opportunity to talk with him, and he was sharing his experience. And I will tell you, uh, if I was not there, I probably miss uh, I could not experience that learnings that I got from that senior scientist. He shared his learning experience, how he started his startup in US, how he built it as uh, one of the good reputed engineering company, which offer worldwide technology solution. He shared his experience. I felt so happy and joyful to share means listen his learning experience. And I got those because I shown some courage. I shown some uh, basically uh, uh, passion for particular learning particular thing, and that rewarded all those learning. Okay, so that learning followed with that I presented my poster, and I will tell you, I got a first prize award during that conference, and that was not expected at all. There were so many participants, around more than 300 participants all over the world, and the only prize was there, and that I got that prize. So I was very happy. I will tell you, my intention was to learn there, go there and learn. But what I got something that I can basically uh, uh, means keep in my memory forever. And I am sharing this to you because don't hesitate or think that limit yourself due to some of the limitations. If you are really want to learn, go ahead and give a chance, give a try. I will tell you, it will be great learning experience. And this was a great learning experience of a conference. And further, that research work we submitted in form of paper, and that got published. This was my PhD Tech learning experience. I will also like to share my post-graduation diploma in chemical technology management experience. Again, I will tell you, I was a little bit hesitating to join this course. Shalini ma'am was very much, to be honest, behind me to join this course. She wanted me to join and develop my skills. So she said, you have to join. This will be beneficial for you. So I said, okay, I will join. Initially, I was okay. I have to sacrifice my Saturday and Sunday for 2 years. So I was a little bit not that happy. But as I started attending the course, I will tell you, that was one of the best learning experience I got. There were faculties, especially faculties, those had spent their 40, 50 years in industry, and they learn so many things, and they are there with you, and they are going to share their learning experiences with you, and those will be I will tell you, priceless for you, because we are in a stage of career building where we have to learn things very uh, at a very fast rate, okay, and very clearly, and that can be possible with such a guides, such a faculties, and I'm very fortunate to be part of that course, and I did successfully. And I will also like to tell you, I was uh, uh, topper in first year of that course, And in second semester, I was in first three uh, uh, for that course, particularly that course, post graduation diploma. So I enjoy that. I'm thankful to Shalini ma'am. She suggested to join. Due to her, I took it and completed successfully. I learned so many things from that course. I think I have taken around 1 hour. So I will share something. Give 1 minute.
No problem, Ashish. You can take time. No problem. It's going very well.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So uh, I really don't wanted to tell you do have this thing and that thing to become a successful researcher or scientist. Even I don't think I am a successful researcher or scientist. I think myself as I am in the learning process, and I'm here to learn from you all. We will be going to have around 15 minutes of interaction session where you are going to share some of your experiences. So I'm here to share and learn. Okay, so I have wrote as a message for students, but this is not a message. I will just I have put quotes, different quotes. Those are famous and very commonly used in many motivation lectures. I just arrange them and put it into the slide so that based on that I will talk on what I experience and I share my experience and how I basically deal in day-to-day life. Okay, so first quote is develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. Okay, so in my thoughts are like as a researcher, we must have a passion. Passion is basically a fuel for uh, uh, any idea. Because if you have passion, you will push beyond your limit. Okay, and when you push beyond your limit, you will grow. And so having passion for a researcher or a scientist is so important. And further, this is also one of the famous quote: "Failure is a part of success." I will tell you, as a researcher, uh, we must have a habit of accepting failure and learn from it. Failure is nothing but a part of a success, and we must be familiar with failure. Failure basically tell motivate us to try in a different way so that you achieve your objective. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. So this is again a quote. And I told you, whatever I have done in MTech, PhD, even I am doing in industry, is due to the collaborative work. The collaborative work with the colleagues at my workplace or my friends during my PhD period. So that collaborative work help to bring different expertise together, and that basically help to speed up your work. Okay, uh, if I want to learn something, okay, something new, it will take some more time. If I learn something from someone who is an expert, okay, so he will teach me very quickly, okay, and that will help me. So that is possible through collaborative efforts. So collaboration is so important. You 1 minute. I'm just having a sip of water. Yeah, thank you. So, if you don't know, the thing to do is not to get scared, but to learn. Yes, definitely. If you are not knowing anything, na, I will tell you, no need to get scared of anything. Only thing you need to do is to learn from, need to learn that thing. Okay. If you have willpower, courage, and determination, no one can stop you from becoming the person you aspire to be. Start believing your ability and success will come along. Okay, and this is also an interesting quote for a researcher or scientist. I will tell you, particularly in research or scientific field, there will be so many challenges, so many challenges. Uh, Miss Best, Shalini ma'am can Miss put uh, how many challenges she have faced, and many of you are knowing it, her journey, her struggle, and from all those struggle, she made it to where she is now. So that is possible because of her willpower, her courage, determination, and she is developing to the person she wanted to be. And it is possible because she's believing her abilities, and I'm sure uh, uh, that she will be one of the great person in coming days. And uh, to be honest with you, she is someone I have observed and get motivated in many occasions. Many a time I had so many uh, uh, downs when I felt this can't be done. I go to her cabin and say, "Ma'am, there are so many issues. This is basically I'm facing these issues and I'm not able to do it." So when I come out from the cabin, I come out with the solution, uh, and I can't do it. When I go in her cabin, I used to think, I say I can't do it, and when I used to come out, I used to my mindset is like I can do it. Okay, so like that experiences I have felt with her, and I learned from her. No matter how you feel, get up, dress up, show up, and never give up. This really so much important quote for a researcher and scientist. Uh, I will tell you, there will be a number of failed experiment, and sometimes we feel why I'm doing this. So don't be get disheartened. You go back and start doing again. Okay, and self motivation is one of the important thing you need to have. Marathon runner approach. This is something new, and I'm using in my day to day life. Marathon runner approach. Uh, Now you might be thinking, what is this marathon runner approach? Okay, I will tell you something. If you have some exposure of sports, then you will understand this very nicely. And I wish and I think if it is useful for you, then please use it in your life. Marathon runner approach. What is this marathon runner approach? Uh, the athlete who run marathon, he have particular set of mindset. What is his mindset? What he do different than normal people? So I will tell you. Uh, he understand his strengths. Okay, what are his strengths? How much is his stamina? Okay, understand how much he can run fast. Okay, he understands and so he understand his all strengths. He set his goal for himself, set a goal for himself, and that goal is so much measurable. He knows his capacity, like how much time is required to cross this much of distance. So he have a very accurate goal. He wanted to complete this running, this marathon in particular minute, a particular time. He practice for it. He focus on a rhythm at the beginning, then focus on a rhythm at the beginning. Focus on rhythm at beginning. What does that means? I will tell you. As a athlete, what he do, when he start running, first 100 to 200 meter, he just focus on his rhythm. Okay, the rhythm in which he have to run, and he maintain that rhythm. And what that helps him, how that helps him, I will tell you. Uh, Once he get into that running rhythm, his hands, his leg, his body start holding that rhythm, and he try to maintain that rhythm throughout his running, throughout his marathon, and that rhythm decide uh, he will win or lose. So having a rhythm in running is so important for marathon runner athlete. And what he do, he focus on a lap. He have to complete one lap in given period of time. He complete second lap in given period of time, and he succeed lap by lap. Each lap he cover, and each lap is giving him a success. Celebrate his best time. Means the good athlete, good marathon runner have his or her own best timing, and his target is not to basically defeat other. His target is to achieve his best timing that he had done yesterday or in the last marathon. So he celebrate his best timing. He had a better than last marathon. He will celebrate. Okay, and then in next marathon, he prepare for next run. So he prepared the strategy based on his experience. Okay, so now you might be thinking why you are explaining about marathon runner. I will tell you, this is something about us also, something about a researcher, scientist also. We are also part of the marathon. We need to understand our strength. What are my strengths? Okay, based on my strength, I have to plan. I have to set my goals. Those will be specifically for myself. I have to practice. I have to practice to improve my skills so that I can achieve that goals in much more faster way. Focus on rhythm. Now, what does it mean? Focus on rhythm at the beginning. What does that mean? It means that you have to focus on day-to-day activity. If you have to run, you have to achieve something big, you need to focus on your day-to-day activity, and that will give you a take you to your success. When you set your day, you don't your efforts will basically minimize. You know when you have to get out of your bed, uh, what you have to do. You have to prepare breakfast, you have to go for walk, right? Your mind is just set for that rhythm. You have assigned your uh, allotted some fixed period of time for your learning. You are doing that learning uh, regularly, uh, and you are enjoying your activities that you like to do. You like to play sports, you spend some time for sports, doing sports activity, like to watch some movies, spend some time for that. Okay, and you repeat that day-to-day activity as a rhythmic activity. Okay, like a marathon runner. Now your tones are set. Your tones of uh, activities are set. That will help you to stay you fit. That will help you stay you motivated, energetic. That will help minimize your basically uh, uh, thoughts in your mind. What should I do now? How should I do it? No, it will not happen with you. You know what you have to do after getting out of your bed. You start doing it because you have set that rhythm. You don't need to take more efforts on thinking because you have set that rhythm, and that will help you succeed lap by lap. Again, like a marathon runner, you have to set your objective one by one and achieve that, succeed that. And once you achieve that, definitely you deserve a celebration. You celebrate that success and prepare for a new marathon. It means prepare for new objective, new goals, and be a student as long as you still have something to learn, and this will means all of your life. And to end this session from my side, I will like to read one of the famous sports person. What he says: I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I lost almost 300 games. 26 times I have been trusted to take the game winning shot and missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. With this, I am concluding my presentation, but I would like to acknowledge Institute of Chemical Technology, who give me an learning opportunity to share my understanding, my learning with all of you. And I thank all of you taken out your time in your daily schedule and here to listen. And also I would like to take your feedback, what you have learned during this session. And this will help me to grow in my life. And I don't know how to thank Dr. Shalini Arya. I have learned so much from her, and her contribution in my development is immense. So I don't think I can thank her. I will be always basically fortunate to be her first PhD student and learn so many things from her. And with last quote again, true teachers are those who use themselves as a bridge over which they invite their student to cross, and then having facilitated their crossing, joyful collapse encourage them to create their own. So I wish all of you have great learning and a successful career ahead. And I welcome all of you to share your questions, queries, or if you want to share any experiences, you are welcome. I don't know how much time we have, but whatever time we have, we'll try to make it useful for all of us. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much, Ashish. What a wonderful talk. And through your journey, I lived and cherished all my memories. You know, I was like, wow, I am thankful to you and all your kind words which you used. But I think it is as a research guide or as a research supervisor, the students makes us proud. And today also, I am proudly saying if somebody asks me, for this and this position, if whom you would like to, recommend, I will always recommend to a good student. And I'm not defining any, all students are good student. Every student is a good student. As you mentioned, the learning ability, and today also through your, today's talk, I am learning. And since so many today is the 6th webinar series, I have been learning. Learning is a continuous process, and I'm a teacher, so it is not always, teaching others. Teachers able to teach only when we learn. So learning is very, very important. Thank you so much for being here today. And I will be thankful if you can stop sharing and we will take questions. There are a lot of questions sent to me by students privately, and thank you so much, student, for asking such a wonderful question. They are very relevant. So I will take this question which is asked by Zahir Ahmed Qazi, and Zahir would like to know, Ashish, how to find out interest in particular research topic, particularly what topic to choose, which topic of research to choose, and then how to decide on, which parameters to study and how to focus, Yes, Ashish.
Yes. Actually, this is a question in students, those have recently joined and they wanted to basically develop their career in particular field. So my suggestion will be, this will be my opinion, personal opinion, and you will have your own, you have to take your own decision. I'm sharing my just opinion. So I think we need to see much more holistically. Basically, we need to see particular research objective will be how that will be basically help uh, to solve the particular research problem, and how much the impact of that problem for development in large. Okay, basically, you if you are passion for research and you wanted to become a research and develop your career in particular field, then it's so important to decide your topic with having a very wide vision in which you can see that after 10 years, how long you are going to basically, uh, uh, after 10 years, how much research interest will be there in this particular field. And also, you need to consider a practical thing also, how much instrument how available in your lab. How much expertise available at your place with your research guide. So you can means best. Also, I can suggest you take benefit of expertise of your research guide. That will help you to basically speed up your research. You don't need to collect all the requirement required to conduct research. So that will help you. And also, your guide is already expert, so she can or uh, uh, he can give you their guidance, and that will help you to study more in depth. So in my opinion, in short, you have to consider your research guide expertise. You need to have a clear understanding about your topics. Your interest is also important. So these are basic important things need to consider while selecting the topic. Yes.
Oh, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Ashish. I hope, Zahir, you have got an answer. Yes, rightly said by Ashish. Talk to your research supervisor, because many a times research supervisor already have decided the topic on which you work, but it is not, hard and fast rule. At least that doesn't happen in the Institute of Chemical Technology. The research supervisor always incline his or her research with research interest, with students research interest. It is never like, imposing something on the students. It's always like giving freedom to the student in choosing that research topic. And also, you can yourself, if having some passion and expertise, you can go ahead and you can tell that yes, I am expert, or I have expertise in this particular area and would like to work on that topic. Thank you so much, Ashish. And we have next question asked by Mahabara Khanam, and she would like to know, especially, how to fight demotivation. Sometimes in life, a lot of hiccups, ups and downs keeps coming, and suppose we are targeting something in life, but we do not reach there, even after working so hard, and then we lose interest into that particular aspect. So how to get back with the same enthusiasm and do not lose upon motivation? Ashish.
Thank you for this question. This happens with all of us. We all are humans and we all have emotions. Uh, and even I do fight with such a situation. And I think in all the stages of my life, I have to fight with this situation, and from that I need to grow. So I will again I will tell you a very uh, uh, I will tell you something. Like, see, what I understand that uh, how demotivation come to us, how to fight demotivation. So demotivation come through failure. We try a number of times, doesn't work. Demotivation come through sometimes people around us. Uh, we try to tell something to them, and they don't understand what we are trying to tell them, and we feel like, yeah, of what I'm doing might be not good enough. good, or we start doubting on ourselves. I will tell you, uh, I told you earlier, failure is a part of success. Okay, and the second thing is uh, uh, sometimes people think that miss you are not able to explain what you uh, imagining, what are your thoughts, and we feel a little disheartened. People are not understanding you. You are having some global thoughts. You are imagining something great, and but I will tell you, it's very challenging to explain someone what you are doing, because those thoughts are in your mind, those imaginations are yours, those whatever you are dreaming is all yours. So expecting someone to understand your thoughts, your imagination is, sorry, so expecting your thoughts and understanding or imagination is understood by other is I think not justifiable, because all are yours and unique to you only. So in this situation, what I suggest you, uh, you focus on your goal, you do what is required to be done, you practice and make it happen. And I will tell you, the person who might be doubting on you, who might be not trusting on you, I will tell you, he will clap for you. He will say, you did it, you did it. So, and what can be other thing that demotivate you is other limitations that might be demotivating you. Uh, uh, Here I had explained you about actual failure, and there is nothing to be worry about failure, because failure is part of success. Second thing I explained, people don't understand what we are trying to explain, but I said, don't worry about what people are saying. You focus on your work and do it. And uh, I think if you have, any reason why you feel demotivated, please share with me. If I can, miss, I will try to address that particular issue. Okay, thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Ashish. I think motivation or demotivation is a state of mind, and
Yes,
and it is in your hand. It's
yes,
like and in all the day-to-day life, yes, no one in this world, because it's the hard truth of our life. No one in this world, is always motivated. Like it's like, as I say, it's a state of mind, and mind keeps changing, and the thoughts keeps coming. And at this very moment, I'm very motivated because I have listened to your talk, and then students are also motivated. But then something bad or something that is against my wish happened, then I become sad. Okay, so it is again, thought process. I think, keeping ourselves self motivated and always staying positive, learning on to new things, and not expecting for, always the best result. Even failure, as you said rightly, have to accept, make the failure as a part of life, and don't get affected because of the failure. Even if the failure, just say, oh, it will go, because everything in this world or universe is impermanent. What is today's, say, state of your mind will change it, some or after some time. So it is like a changing. See, now I'm so happy, but maybe after some time unnecessarily I'll feel, sad. So it is like a thought process keeps happening. And you have to talk, you have to make your friends, keep rewarding yourself. Appreciating ourselves is very, very important. We do, very harsh things to ourselves. We never appreciate ourselves. Like, always pat on your back for small things, and don't afraid to make mistakes. Don't think that, oh, I won't learn, I will be like a big failure, I will, if I make the mistake. Learn to, accept your mistake. And don't compare yourself with others. Like, don't think that, I will become Dr. Ashish Wagmare. Ashish Wagmare is a unique personality. I cannot copy everything, but at the same time, you can, harvest or harbor some of the qualities. Like, I like Ashish's perseverance, the hardworking nature. So yes, I will try to, learn those and develop those quality in me. But I will not compare always myself, because comparing makes you miserable. And always, help other people. I think helping, I'm not very, what do you call, philosophical today, but I think this is the hard truth of nature, that, when we do good to others, good comes to us. So when we help others, somewhere from this universe, this positive energy or positive power also helps to rescue us from the problems and challenges. So please believe in this law of nature. Helping others will, come back to you. So that's a very wonderful philosophical talk. Thank you so much, Ashish, for such a wonderful, and thank you, Mahapara, for asking such a wonderful question. So I have few more questions, Ashish, to, take here upon. So as you said, networking is a very, very important quality, and having good friends network helps a lot. And from your talk also, I realized that, you had built a very, very good network of your friends, and that helped you. But nowadays, this approach for the student while working in the laboratory is so different. They think that, okay, I will work all alone, I will do everything all alone, not sharing things, because I'm a research supervisor. So get those complaints and come to know. So what is, how to develop and harbor that quality of networking and building good friends, as per your experience and as per your knowledge.
Thank you. Let me tell you this thing. In my case, it happened unintentionally. I didn't had an intention to basically have a network or take help from someone. It was happened naturally. It's like we are working in a lab. We had limited resources. So some experiment, if I'm planning and I require suppose 40 beakers, and I have only 5 or 4 beakers. So what I need to do, I need to talk to friends well in advance. Yeah, I want to your beakers for next week. So this is way we basically request so that this person will be reserve his resources for me, and he helped me. So likewise, when we start working on specific objective, then that time it happened unintentionally. Okay, you are good in particular doing something, so let's work together and we will go ahead. Okay, so like that happened. And if I have to tell about outside networking, external networking outside the institute, so then about that I would like to tell you, as a student, we learn to approach people. And this digital platform is a great platform. Through website, we can find out the email IDs. Through LinkedIn, we can find out we can contact people. We can use even Facebook also, if required. We can tell I need your guidance, I need your support in understanding this topic, or we are interested to work on this topic. Can you give your inputs? I think that really, really helped. Even in my case, I will tell you about that frying oil. We never thought we are going to, we at the beginning of a PhD, we never thought I'm going to work on a frying oil that is basically produced first in the world from the microalgae for human consumption. So we basically that is we got it because we approach people. We tell them we can do this thing. We can we have this expertise, or we need your guidance. Can we do like this? we need to talk with the people, and I think approaching through digital media is one of the way. And also, I would like to tell you, we in ICT we are so much fortunate. So many faculty, so many experts come visit, give lectures. Personally, I remember I was always interested to attend the lectures from the expert, because they are going to share their learnings of so many years, and those learnings they are going to share with you for 30 or 40 minutes, and that learning they have learned for more than 20 30 years, and they are expert in that field. I will tell you one example. When we were working on frying whale. One expert came from Canada. I'm not remembering his name, and he is expert in vegetable oil. And that time I was attending his lecture, and I had asked him a question. If suppose the non-conventional source uh, uh, of vegetable oil, if there is non-conventional source of vegetable oil, people are not using as a food. That source having a vegetable oil, can we use that oil for edible purpose? So he had a very clear understanding. He said clearly, uh, does a chemistry suitable for application, and is it safe for human? He asked two questions. If the question answers yes, you go ahead. If no, you can't go ahead. In our case, it in case of our experiment, it was suitable. So I said yes. Then he straight away said, "You can go ahead. Who is going to stop you?" So like that, these people who is coming to ICD and sharing their thoughts, they have great experience. We talk with them, stay in touch with them, take their card, email ID. If required any help, email them. If they have time, they will respond back to you, and this way we can basically have a good networking and learning experience.
Wow,
Thank you.
Ashish, thank you so much. I have one last question or one more question. So you joined Reliance as a research scientist. So what was your motivation behind joining there as a research scientist, and how did you get into Reliance industry as a research scientist?
Yes, this is a very straightforward question. So I will answer with very straightforward way. I will tell you, my PhD work is somewhere aligned with the objective of department where I am working, and basically that open a gate for me. And I will tell you, uh, industry is welcoming a people who are passionate, who are interested, and self-motivated. They want their project uh, to go ahead and become successful one day. So, to be precisely, my PhD work is aligned with the uh, goal of the department where I am working. So basically, that helped me, and that helped me to be get.
So,
Let's say,
in line with that similar answer, do you think, Ashish, that when a researcher go for a higher education, be it a master or PhD program, think about a research topic in such a way that, because in your case, your own research topic led you to a job position in a very good industry. So can a researcher think about, a research topic that can be more having commercial application and that can lead to a job opportunity? So what is your opinion based on your own experience?
yes, yes, definitely. As a student, you know, most every student aspire to get a good career opportunity after completion of their degree. So, I think it's so important to have research topic align with recent development and recent new technology. So basically that will help somewhere to a student to get a new opportunity after completion of study. But it doesn't limit only to the topic, research topic. I have so many friends who have a research topic completely different than what they are doing. So in their case, during this process, this learning process of MTech and PhD, we come across so many challenges. We face them and we basically develop our mindset, attitude toward handling particular challenges. And we learn through all of those process. And basically that develop us as a person with good common sense. Uh, I can say that. And I think that is something attract industry. They want someone who have developed through a process that took some time, that took so many efforts, and that temperament help person while dealing with his professional task. So the learning that I have got in my MTech and PhD, I'm using that learning in my present work. Yes, thank you.
So thank you so much, Ashish, for such a wonderful, talk and discussion, and based on your pure experiences and the stories that you shared during you experienced during your master or PhD program. Like this is like a golden khazana. Which people you will find on Google. If you search for anything, you will find everything, but this golden khazana is within you. It is very exclusive, and today you have shared that khazana with us, and I'm sure all the students here will benefit immensely. And I hope that in future also you will provide your mentorship to our student and help them to achieve their successful life. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving this opportunity. I'm very thankful to you. And I have shared my email ID. So you can basically give me a feedback. This is my first lecture, means first talk, or you can say sharing experience. So I would like to take your feedback.
Definitely.
I would like to learn and grow from your feedback. So please give me your feedback. And thank you so much. It was.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice weekend.